Hi guys, welcome back. It is June 19th. I've been recording this video for hours. I have a Starbucks, I'm a chatterbox. It's just I really get into my topic. But I do want to do this because I try to cram this all in one video at the beginning of my university updates series, and I feel like I miss a lot because I try to do it all in one video. So don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, and join me with a drink, a snack, because I'm a chatterbox. So we're going to cover 3 topics. We're going to cover orientation and mobility. We're going to cover my graduation application and accessibility and things I do or try to do before the semester starts. Okay. So I went completely blind in 2022. And since then, I've had a lot of challenges in public spaces, in traveling. And after having a conversation with a friend who was born completely blind and who also has a psychology bachelor's degree, I learned a lot and a lot of things make sense. And so I had this conversation in the last couple months with her, but I have been pushing for orientation and mobility since 2024. That day, my DOR counselor, my DOR blind services counselor, was one of the only times in our 12 plus years or 11 plus years working together that she was supportive and understanding, and she did everything on her side within the month. It was just that an instructor for orientation and mobility never got back to me. And so since last year, I've been trying to get it requested, but nothing. And as you guys know, it took me 3 years. It took me 2 years to get her to acknowledge that I was requesting technology, and another year for her to actually provide the technology. So it took 3 years for her, a little over 3 years for me to receive technology since the moment I started requesting it, since the moment I noticed that things were not working out. And so, yeah. And so I'm nervous it's going to take just as long. I started last year. Now I'm really putting pressure. I know from my experience with technology and the advice that I got from other people. So the reason why I never call her or try not to call her is because I will not have proof that we spoke about it and that, you know, what she said and what I said. I prefer to do emails so I can look back on what was said. And if she tries to say that's not the rules, I can send her, hey, this is what you told me in this email, because that's what she has done to me throughout especially the first couple years. She would go back and forth and add new rules and say that didn't work for her, even though she had said previously that would work for her. Whatever worked for me would be fine, and she would change her mind the next day. So, but I got advice from my friends. They're like, talk to her on the phone and then send her an email and just reiterating no, I don't know how to say the word, just going over what you guys said on the phone. And my fear is that she's gonna start yelling at me that why am I being aggressive or rude, and they told me it's not, that a lot of people do that. So I'm going to start doing that, and so I can get orientation and mobility. Ooh, I have lagaña. Sorry about that. And Ethos is retiring. Ethos is the one that has kept me safe and steady in the last 3.5 years since I went completely blind. So I am nervous for the 4 to 12 month gap between guide dogs that might be there. I don't know how long it's going to take. It took me about anywhere between 20 to 22 months to get Ethos the last time. It was just many different situations, you know. But yeah, and that leads me to the same situation that I'm having. Graduation application funds. I've been emailing her since I found out, which was the day that I found out, March 30th, I think, when I had my appointment with my university counselor. I immediately sent the email to my counselor from DOR explaining the situation, telling her how much it was, and if DOR would fund it. At that time I didn't know, but I did talk to other DOR customers or consumers as they call them, And they told me that they're not just only supposed to pay for that, but they're also supposed to fund the cap and gown, which she did not do for my mission college, and she knew I was graduating, which is crazy. So yeah, I've sent her 8 emails. 3 of them were subjected requests for graduation application funds, and within those emails, I think in 2 of them I think I sent extra emails, and then other 5 emails chains that I've sent since March, having to do with other things like sending in my my documentations that they request for each semester. I always add as a reminder about the application. Somebody from our department also reached out to me 3 weeks, and I explained the situation. And they're like, oh, well, send me the emails that have the subject with the application so I can have them, and then the ones with documentation. So we will see how long this takes. I'm actually going to send her an email that says urgent in the subject because I want to get this application done by mid-July. And yeah, so we will see how that ends up going. Honestly, I don't know. Every request I sent her never gets processed, and if it gets processed, I'm never notified. And if I am notified, I actually don't receive the funds. It's been a mess the last 5 or so years with this program, with this organization. So as you guys know, before every semester, I have gone to campuses to reorient myself, to look for where my classes are. Sometimes it works sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't because of the buildings are closed. So this year I'm going to go in earlier because I know there's summer sessions, so buildings should not be closed. And I just want to go and explore the campus, center myself again and get comfortable with it again. We also want to look at other parking locations so that we're not stuck in one. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot that goes into it. I'm definitely going to vlog the whole process. I always try to. This semester, we are going to be paying for a semester parking pass because last semester was a mess. I don't know how long we're going to use it. Honestly, I don't know because my mom is working and I probably will need to start taking access more. And so that's going to be also another thing. Did I mention I'm drinking an ice sugar-free vanilla latte from Starbucks? Anyways, other things that I have tried to do in the past, especially at Mission College and Valley College, was contact the student bookstore to get the list for my courses. I was always told you can do that, but every time I called, they were like, I don't know, you need to have the title so we can look it up. That's what I was always told when I called the student bookstore, but by other people, like the people from Students with Disabilities Office or the professors, they said, oh, you can call so you can get the title so you can start looking for them, right? But when I called a student bookstore, they never had it, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure they do have it and they just didn't want to look it up. So this year, I've never done this with Cal State, but I have noticed that on my student portal, I can click on. The only thing is that this specific message only appears within the first week, not before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call and say, hey, is there any way you guys can... I'm going to explain to them, hey, I'm part of the OSD office. I'm completely blind. Is there any way that you guys can look up the courses I'm going to be taking this next semester to see if the textbooks and the materials are available, or just the titles and prices, so I can start searching them up to see if I can get them accessible or what I need to do. I want to be as most proactive in my last semester. I want it to go as smoothly as possible because the schedule that I have is already going to be absolutely crazy. What I also do, I try to do 2 weeks in advance, but now that I know who I'm going to have, I'm going to probably do it on August 1st. Hopefully it's a weekday. I'm going to set a reminder for myself so I can send the introductory emails to all my professors. What I'm going to do, because I sometimes forget to tell one professor one thing and the other one another thing, is I'm just going to do one email and then just change the hello professor so and so, so that they can all have the same information. And I'm hoping to have some information for them for materials and textbooks. I'm hoping that some of them will have information for me, and that's going to be another way for me to work on the materials as well. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to do this. I'm going to set reminders for myself, and hopefully I can do it, because sometimes I will get into those times in my life where I can't, or it's impossible for me to do anything, or I just will procrastinate, because I'm a great procrastinator. And so yeah, those are the things I'm foreseeing for this summer that I'm going to start doing for the fall, and hopefully I can actually achieve them and do them, so it can be that much easier for me. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming along. And if you guys have any suggestions, advice, tips and tricks to make the whole experience a lot easier, smoother, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear your stories. How was your experience with all that stuff? Yeah. Anyways, thank you. Bye.